Whew, alright, let's grind up this week's challenge battle for those rainbow diamonds. Big Mom's OnlyFans will pay for itself. Oh wait, there's a new Tons of Treasure stage? Oh, I shouldn't get my hopes up. It's probably just another slow, choky map with plenty of room for him. Alright, let's just get this over with. Okay. Whew. Okay, we got it. Alright, that was actually the most fun I've ever had in a challenge battle. But that might have just been because I had a really good team. I'm sure the next couple of battles won't be nearly as good. This is the best challenge battle ever. Okay, I'll admit it. I'm not the biggest fan of challenge battle, as it usually consists of nothing but pain and suffering for a couple of hours just to get a few rewards. But this new challenge battle is actually amazing. Like, unlike the other Tons of Treasure events, where the maps have about as much complexity as opening the mailbox, and whether or not you're about to get your mail or a carefully set pipe bomb is dependent on what EX characters you have. This new stage feels carefully planned and made deliberately with strategy in mind. That's why today, I'm going to be giving this stage the love it deserves and discuss the strategies I've come up with for trying to reach the top rank in this game mode. Everything here is from my 2 or so days playing the challenge battle and personal opinions on how characters should function, but I hope you really take into account everything I say here when your next round. And depending on how the other challenge battles work, I'd love to make this a series where I discuss the best strategies for every challenge battle moving forward. So let me know your input and ideas in the comments below. So before we get into the exact strategies, I'd like to talk about a few subclasses I divided all the characters into to suit the specific needs of the map. They don't fall into the 3 traditional classes of the game, as I do take some liberties with how they function, but these classes are what make the backbone of these strategies. So the first and most important class is the Main Guard. The Main Guard's job is to protect the 2 flags in the central stage from runners or anybody who's trying to take control of the area. As their main duty will be KOing enemies and keeping them off the treasure, their most powerful assets will be their damage dealing potential, a knockback ability, and the ability to inflict a status effect. Some characters that fit into this class are Roger, Shanks, Ulti, EX Luffy, Wano Big Mom, and Hybrid Kaido. Some other characters that might work are King and Shiki, if any other characters in question aren't available. But, as the Main Guard's primary job is to protect the 2 center treasures, they should stay within the center area as much as possible and should never jump down. If nobody else is around, the Main Guard could pull the treasure flag, and for this exact reason, our next subclass, the Backup Guard, is here. The Backup Guard's main duty is to assist the Main Guard in protecting the central treasures and pull a treasure flag with the Main Guard's help if need be. And because they fulfill 2 jobs at once, it broadens the amount of characters that can be fit into this category. So instead of needing status effect infliction, maybe capture speed might be more useful. Really, it doesn't matter what character is here, just as long as it works well with the Main Guard. Some characters that work well for this role are King, Shiki, Tesoro, God Usopp, or any of the Main Guard listed above. Just like the Main Guard, the Backup Guard should try and stay within the central area. The next category are the Hunters. Unlike the Main Guard's defense-focused playstyle, the Hunter's main goal is to capture the treasure at Central, around Central, and if Central is taken care of, they can even spread out into the other treasure areas close to Central. Right behind the Main Guard, the Hunter is the most important class on the field, as, because this is tons of treasure, the point is to get tons of treasure. So, having a character that's good at capturing is absolutely essential to winning games. Now, because the Hunter needs to be in many places at once, most will be runners for their quick movement and fast capture speed. Characters that fit this role well are King, either Marco, Young Rayleigh, Snake Man, God Usopp, Kaku, Dressrosa Bellamy, and Vista, to name a few. But because you will most likely run into enemies on your way, it would be best to have some damage potential, or a way to get out of the situation quick and continue capturing treasure. The last subclass is the Libero. The Libero's main duty is to patrol the backyard area and capture any treasure to speed up the victory. And unlike any of the other subclasses, the Libero needs to be almost exclusively a treasure capturer, as the smaller treasures restore themselves much faster than the big ones, which means characters that attack are much less useful than characters that can shrug off damage and continue to capture. Some notable examples of characters are either Marco, but Wano preferably, Yamato, Hybrid Kaido, Orabi, Golden Week, Snake Man, Whole Cake Island Brook, Kiyoshiro, and Dressrosa Bellamy, to name a few. Again, the point of these characters is just to continue capturing treasure until the game is over, so a heavy focus on defense and agility is ideal. Alright, with the subclasses out of the way, we can finally get into the strategic positioning segment. Firstly, we're going to talk about the defensive formation. The goal of this position is to have a heavy protection around the central treasures, with both the main guard and a backup guarding both central treasures, the hunter quickly moving between the treasures around central and to central itself to assist in capturing the flags, and the libero moving throughout the backyard to capture treasures. This positioning works well to keep light runners or attackers that need setup time out of central, so that your team can focus on capturing the treasures, but leaves a lot to be desired in the sides and backyard, as ideally the hunter would be spending most of their time up at central protecting or capturing treasure, leaving the backyard susceptible to multiple enemies taking out the libero and continuously capturing treasure. The next setup is the spread defensive positioning. As you can see, there's a main guard and a backup guard guarding the two central treasures, while a hunter and a libero or two libero move from the sides of central to the backyard capturing treasures. For most games, this will be what you see, as usually there are about 2 or so attackers or offensive runners on central protecting and capturing the treasures, so the other 2 can spread out and capture the treasures on the sides, maximizing the amount of treasures they can get. This setup is excellent for fighting against teams that have a more attack-centered setup, so that the 2 guards can work together to take down anybody who tries to attack central, as well as capture if need be. This should be what you use most of the time, as it has the best and safest capture rate on the list. But just in case the enemies have deployed a more defensive structure on central that's too difficult or time-consuming to break, that's where the next strategy comes in. The offensive spread strategy is a very shaky strategic positioning with 2 libero who split up in the backyard to capture treasure and a team of hunters who work together to push the enemies out of central treasure areas and attempt to capture. Out of all the strategies, this one's definitely the most desperate and useful in times of complete disarray. But ideally, the hunters would use their specific abilities to wait until the perfect time and strike at both center treasure areas to capture treasures, while the libero in the backyard capturing more. This strategy is also useful if the enemy has an Autobot hacker in their spawn, as one of the hunters can use their position to disable or kill the hacker close to their spawn, so the rest of the team can continue capturing treasures. Alright, so those are the few strategies I've come up with in the few days this challenge battle has been released. I really hope you enjoyed the video and will use these strategies to achieve a high rank in the challenge battle. And if you really enjoyed the video, please let me know and give suggestions about anything you'd like to see in the future. Depending on what happens in the challenge battle in the next couple of days, I might make a second video going over some new ideas I've come up with. Anyways, I'm gonna go play Vampire Survivors. Wait, what? You thought I was gonna play more challenge battle? Are you kidding me? Like, the reward for this week is a freaking crit medal for defenders. Like, I can't even think of a medal that's more useless than that. Like, maybe like a Baroque Works medal. But even then, there are like 2 Baroque Works characters that are actually usable. So even that doesn't work. Anyways, peace and keep on rushing.